I feel mindset matters most, and that mindset was 99% of the weight loss journey. I am a big advocate for the fact that we have more control over our lives than we're led to believe. There is such a need for all of us that are called to step into something more. If you ask better questions, you're going to get better results. When you raise your vibrations, you start seeing things you missed before.
Welcome to the Leadership and Love podcast. We will cover leadership, mindset, personal development, and sales and marketing. You will experience thought-provoking conversations with both nationally and internationally recognized leaders. Our goal is to inspire you and deliver actionable items that you can implement that are going to help you accelerate your growth. Get ready to discover the magic and the power when you lead with love. I am so excited today because I have a dear friend and just a true amazing woman today for our interview, and her name is Michele Thill. Michele, welcome.
Thank you. I am honored to be on your podcast. Thank you for having me.
Michele Thill is a board-certified health and wellness coach, trained specialist in the foundations of women-centered coaching, and certified functional medicine coach, and the founder of Newland Wellness. She helps women over 50 rediscover themselves after major life shifts, blending holistic self-care, mindset practices, and simple tools. Michele empowers women to embrace change and create vibrant, purposeful lives they're truly meant to lead. So, Michele, again, welcome. I'd like to start, you shared with me a really fascinating story, and I'd like you to share that with the audience a little bit about how you really found your voice and your place in the world in front of a room, speaking, doing those things through the Weight Watchers program. Will you share that story with our listeners, please?
Oh, absolutely. So I had been a member of Weight Watchers and had lost 40 pounds on their program. And about 10 years in, being lifetime, I kept the weight off. I decided that I'd like to actually work for them. I was looking to get back into the workforce and was really enjoying being of service. I did a lot of philanthropic work while I was a stay-at-home mom and homemaker, and I thought this is a great next step for me. So I was able to become a meeting room leader, and I did that for 5 years, leading fabulous people on the journey of really taking care of themselves. My meetings were really not about the program. I felt that you knew how to work the program. What I wanted to touch upon was the mindset. I feel mindset matters most, and that mindset was 99% of the weight loss journey.
Now, I can tell you there might be some of you men listening thinking that, well, she specializes with helping women, but she's going to drop a lot of wisdom that either one, you can share with that lady in your life, or two, it will apply to your life just as well and just as effectively. But I'd like you to repeat that, please. That weight loss was what?
99% mindset. Because if your head isn't in the game, you're either going to lose the weight and not keep it off, or you're never going to be able to lose the weight. And I saw that time and time again.
That's so powerful. And this is a great story, because I want you as listeners to know that I truly believe everything that we go through in life leads us to this place where we find our purpose, our vision, our mission. And that's truly what's happened with Michele. She found her ability, her courage, and her skill to stand in front of a room and lead people. And you can tell, if you haven't picked up on it, she leads with love everywhere she goes. Michele, I'd like you to talk about, in that mindset, how or what did you teach them to change their mindset, and not only change it, but keep it, so that they, whether it was weight loss or now other wellness things that you help women with, how do they change the mindset, and then how do they maintain that mindset?
Well, it was about shifting it, really, about changing your perspective. One of the quotes that I shared a lot and absolutely love and live by is Wayne Dyer's, "When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change." And I started helping people to see that on this weight loss journey, which felt to many restrictive and limiting, how it was actually freedom, how they were able to live a better quality of life, that it wasn't just about the scale, but it was about all they gained on the journey while they were in the meeting room with me, both men and women.
So isn't it amazing? I hope everybody caught that. Isn't it amazing how they were losing something, they were gaining something else? And isn't that true of every area of life? When we lose something, when we make room for something, then we can have the room and opportunity to gain something else. And so can you share with our listeners what's one of the favorite things you like to share with your clients to help them on the journey to start back to better wellness, better health, better mental health, emotional, physical, spiritual?
It's holistic self-care. It's really a body, mind, and spirit journey that you go on, where it's the physical, the how you nourish your body, the good nutrition, the movement, the calming of the mind through meditation, through mindset practices, and the spiritual aspect of it, which is really seeing a bigger picture. And I am a bigger picture thinker. And so through mindset shifts, I help my ladies to be able to look at things through a new view.
And so, for our listeners, she said some very, very powerful things. And one of those, it's to be a great leader and to lead with love in every area of your life. You have to have all these areas of your life balanced. What's one of your favorite things that you share with your clients when they're stuck in some place and think, life's never going to get better. It's not going to change. Life's not moving and it's never going to move. What do you share with them to get them out of that?
I am a big advocate for the fact that we have more control over our lives than we're led to believe. It's again about shifting the mindset. So I like a grow through as you go through method.
That's really powerful. Say that again, please.
It's a grow through what you go through method. So in other words, we're all facing problems. Every day. They could be big, they could be small. And instead of just looking at the problems, letting them stack up, getting stuck in the problems, I like to look at problems as opportunities for growth, opportunities for us to learn something about ourselves, to learn something about the other people that may be involved, both positive and negative.
So what are the results that your clients get when they go through the program?
So my ideal client, I'll start with that. So it is really it's a woman midlife who all of a sudden finds her life has blown up in some way, in some kind of major life transition. So the program that I have, and it's a proven system, takes these ladies on a path and helps them navigate this next chapter of their life with confidence and clarity so that they create the intentional steps to rewrite or write this next chapter of life on their terms, and they find more meaning and purpose and joy, especially joy in their lives. And really, it's about making the second half of life the best half of life, no matter what the first half was like.
That's awesome. You brought up something that I think is very fascinating. And lately I've been on a roll with amazing women who have just done such brave things. And so I'd like you to share with the audience, what or how did you gather the courage as a divorced woman to break out from everything that was the norm and then create a whole new opportunity called this wellness program that you have?
Yes, boy, great question. I think really working with Weight Watchers helped me to realize the passion that I had to be of service to others, that there is such a need for all of us that are called to step into something more. This is what brought the most joy to me.
For those that are listening, and again, whether you're male or female, she just said something very, very powerful. And this is what I want you to know. She said baby steps, just baby step after baby step after baby step. Sometimes we don't understand the importance of little steps or little things done repeatedly. And we talked about this recently in another podcast, actually with Carolyn Litton, about the power of doing the same thing consistently, right? One of the things that you did that was so powerful, when you were taking those baby steps, you knew what the vision looked like, what you wanted to be doing, how you wanted to do it, those kinds of things. How do you help your clients find clarity on what that picture looks like? Because it's, Jack Canfield says, you don't want to climb up a ladder leaning against the wrong wall, right?
Right.
So we don't want to take baby steps towards something that's the wrong goal. So how do you help your clients find the clarity on that goal, that vision?
It really is about finding joy in your life. There's a difference between, in my mind, between happiness and joy. Happiness is based on outside circumstances, events, things that have happened, whereas joy is something that you make a choice to decide to come from a place of joy. And when you're going through what might be deemed hard times, that you rest assured that everything is working out for your highest good, that life is happening for you and not to you.
That's so profoundly wise. And many people have said it in the same way, different ways. But it's interesting because I was sharing I was on a call this morning with one of my clients, I do business consulting. And I told him the same thing, right? Whether you're selling cars or not selling cars, you have the choice to choose how you're going to feel every day, all day. And to your point, kind of what you said before, what you see and how you're thinking really changes the world, right? And it makes the world a joyful place.
Right, exactly. If you're going to see things with more of a negative slant, then you're going to create those feelings and take action steps to see more of the negative. If you go the opposite way and you look to see more of the positive, you create those feelings and those action steps that take you into seeing just that. Where your attention goes, your energy flows, and we are all energy.
Right. Yeah. Einstein proved it. We're all energy. That's amazing stuff. One of my favorite questions to ask is, what's one of your favorite books and how or why did it change your life?
I've read a lot of fabulous books and have received a lot of help. But if I had to choose one, it's The Untethered Soul. My gosh, I love this book. And I've loved all over this book. If you could take a look in here, I have read it twice and I have underlined and added things. And I just love the idea of separating ourselves from our emotions. Not that we're the feeler, but we're the observer of our feelings. I love the getting out of the mind with the inner roommate that Michael Singer speaks about. This book was and is life-changing for me.
Oh, that's just so awesome. And you make my heart go pitter patter. I want to share with the audience. So if those of you listening and not watching, she held up the book and she opened it. She had bookmarks in there and she had written all over it. She had underlined stuff. She had made notes. And I want you to know that when we were little, we were taught we shouldn't mess up the book, right? Especially if it's a library book, it's got to go back. But I want you to understand that something that somebody shared with me a long time ago, and it sounds like you got it somewhere too, Michele, you can be having a conversation with the author. And the way you do that is you make notes in it and you say, yes, I agree with this, or no, I don't. So I love that you mark up books. I dog ear the pages. I do all that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Can I share just something about this book that I feel really captures the essence of it? And I feel that, and it's a sentence that everyone would appreciate, if you will. And it is the thought here: when a person is dealing with their own fears, anxieties, and desires, how much energy is left for dealing with what's actually happening? Boom.
Bam. Mic drop. And the other part of that is I would ask, if you're busy with focusing your energy on all the negative stuff, how much energy is left for not only what's actually happening, but to focus on what you really want, where you really want to go, how you really want to feel, right? And the answer is not much.
Yeah.
And one of the things, while we're on this, and I appreciate that you read that sentence, because one of the things I share that it's become very clear for me is that negative thought creates negative energy, and then it becomes a circle, right? That negative energy feeds the negative thought feeds the negative energy, and it just keeps going, and it's never going to work. I can never do it. I can't do this. I can't do that. Nobody loves me. Blah 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 blah. And then it just becomes this endless cycle.
And instead, what if we looked at it as, how can I? Instead of I can't.
And so listeners, she just dropped the gold mine right there. Change the question. What if is one of my favorite questions. What if I make the deal? What if she says yes to dinner? What if I get $1 million? What if I get healthy? What if? And the mind loves questions. The mind loves to solve problems. And the second part of what she just said was, how can I? How can I get in better shape? How can I improve my relationships? How can I grow sales? How can I make more profit? Those are all, and just ask those questions to yourself. Now, to your point, Michele, you're just on fire. You can't do that in this humglum dark place. Right? It's not the place to ask. You want to uplift your energy and ask those questions. And asking those questions spun to the positive will also start to lift you up out of this negative gutter of where you're living. How can I, right?
Right, exactly. Because when you think about it, if you ask better questions, you're going to get better results.
Amen, sister. Did you hear what she said, everybody? When you ask better questions, you're going to get better results. And I can tell you, I really believe the quality of our life is really directly related to the questions we ask. Right? How can I be a better person? How can I be more loving? How can I be funnier? How can I be more kind? How can I be more charitable? How can I be more successful? Whatever that is, but you start asking those questions and going after those answers, it's not a question of if, it's just a matter of when life's going to get a whole lot better for you.
Exactly. Exactly. And using the what if up instead of what if down.
We've talked about this through a number of other episodes. Leaders are readers. She just read one sentence, and we've gone off with more passion, because this is really all about the mindset to choose what you're going to ask yourself, what you're going to think about. And I love that what you just said, and I'm going to repeat it for our listeners. What Michele just said was so powerful. You can what if to the negative, or you can what if to the positive. And it changes the game completely.
It does, because ready isn't a feeling, it's a decision. And it is time for us to start deciding for ourselves instead of against ourselves.
I couldn't agree more. We get to pick ourselves. And again, the universe is, or God, whoever it is for you, is either working for you. And it's all that's all really the reality is, right? The universe is working for us. It's never working against us. And it's amazing because, and again, I'm a huge Wayne Dyer fan. I shared something with you recently. Yeah. But it's true. And everybody says the same thing, right? Whatever you're thinking about grows. And so if you just keep manifesting the negative and think about it, it's just going to keep manifesting the negative or the positive.
Exactly. Exactly. And there are anything that I've shared today is nothing new. There are so many people that are connecting with the message from the universe, and we're all just different messengers sharing it in our own way.
Ho, 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 stop the presses. Now, for everybody listening, I want you to understand what she just hit on. Just because people, and I agree, there aren't a whole lot of new ideas around this thing called spirituality, mindset, and those things. Here's what's going to happen. This is why, my coach recently shared this with me. I'm a speaker sometimes, but I'm a messenger all the time, right? And what Michele just touched on is I also understand, and so does Michele. She's a wise woman. We are not the flavor of the day for everybody. And it's not our desire to be the flavor of the day. But this is a really powerful quote, and I know you're going to agree. She's nodding her head for those of you listening and not watching. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear, right? And Michele is the perfect teacher for the people who need her. With the frequency she's vibrating at, they're going to find her. She finds them. It's not a mystery. Again, everything she's been talking about. So if you're out there thinking, well, my message doesn't matter, my story doesn't matter, nothing's further from the truth.
We fight for our limitations, don't we? We're looking at all the reasons why we can't, instead of, like I said, how can we? And you touched upon something very powerful about when the student is ready, the teacher appears. As an example, with the Untethered Soul book. So I actually purchased this book in 2012. The thoughts I had seen Michael Singer on Oprah, and at the time, my ex and I were still together, and I thought that this would be a great read for him. I loved what Michael had to share. I never thought to read the book myself, and when we parted, I just kept the book, and all of a sudden in 2020, I started getting messages. They say if you get like 3 hits on something, wake up and take action. So on the third one, I'm like, I think it's time I bring this book out and read it. And I wasn't ready in 2012. I was ready in 2020 to receive the message.
It's so profound. It's exactly right. We're going to be ready when we're ready, not a minute sooner, not a minute later.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I'm so grateful for your time today. Is there anything you'd like to share with the listeners? How can they get in touch with you? Anything like that?
Sure. So you could reach out to me through email. My email address, and I'm sure Louie will put it in the show notes as well, is Michele with 1 L at newlandwellness.com, which is New Land Wellness, all one word. And also, I do want to share ultimate checklist that I put together that is short and powerful, giving you simple, practical steps to help raise your energy, to help start seeing things in a new way. Because again, as we talked about, when you raise your vibrations, you start seeing things you missed before. You stop the tunnel vision and you start opening up to the bigger picture. And again, I humbly say that I think it is an awesome first step in baby stepping the process.
We'll put it in the show notes, and we'll put the live link in there. So all you have to do is click on that, and then you'll be off to the races. Again, Michele, from the bottom of my heart, I love you. I love your energy. And thank you very much for taking the time today to be on the podcast.
Oh, Louie, it is my pleasure, and it was such an honor. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thanks again for joining us and listening to this episode of Leadership and Love. I would like to challenge you to ask yourself, what's one thing that you heard today that you can implement immediately to improve your leadership and accelerate your growth. If you've gotten value out of this episode or learned something that you can implement today, we'd ask that you please share it with those that you care about. Our goal is to create more leaders who are leading with love.